Hello everyone and welcome to QualityOldGames. Today we are having part 18 of the English Longbowmen only campaign, and our first task is to take Caesarea and at the same time take down the Mongol faction leader. Our other targets are to take finally the last areas of France. At least let's hope we can do it, or at the very least besiege both of those settlements. So there is only the bodyguard guarding the city, and well, let's deploy the stakes there just in case if he decides to sally forth, but I guess we are in quite a good position as it is. So let's hope our Longbowmen can get into good positions to start raining arrows on the bodyguard there.
Our men have reached the walls with their ladders.
And I think the bodyguard will rather soon pull back to the inner castle. But let's see. Yeah, there they go. And I guess this is a citadel.
Our soldiers have proved their worth today. The enemy's walls belong to us now.
So basically... Oh. Which unit? Okay, so there is that one ladder. So, let's move next to this wall here. And I think we need to conserve the ammunition for the enemy general. Oh, is he actually coming out? That might be problematic, since it is heavy cavalry after all.
The ladders are now in place. Walls are no match for the valor and force of our arms.
And it seems they are once again pulling back. So we can position our troops to get ready to the last castle wall. And of course, I think our goal here should be to get the men on the walls, and that way we can actually make sure that the enemy cannot hit us. Okay, and the gates there are ours. So let's head to the innermost walls. And it seems the gates are left open. That's very kind of the enemy. But I guess we'll just drop these ladders and get the army in position in here. And let's try not to provoke them. Of course, if they try to rush us, then that's not firing at will prove to be quite a handicap for us, but I think we should be able to do rather well in
Our
here.
men have reached the walls with their ladders.
then let's get these guys to the wall in here. And these guys here, so we can make some more space for the rest of the troops to come up. And let's send in the most experienced troops first. And perhaps the general as well. And we have only 2 more units, or rather 2 more sets of units to get to the walls. And I think we are soon ready to open fire with, hopefully, a devastating... what's actually the word for the... that when the men fire all at the same time? Ranked shot? I don't know. Well, in any case, I think whatever it is, we are ready.
Fire at will, Commander.
And some casualties are coming already. This is going just
only half the enemy
nicely.
force remains. The enemy king.
Would that
This is
every
a clear
victory would be
victory
this
that
easy.
goes to only men of
Excellent.
The day is ours, sire. This is English soil now.
And what an excellent way to start this campaign
Hail my king.
playthrough. Or rather, episode of playthrough. And let's make a church in Damascus. Perhaps some additional priests would be good, especially from Jerusalem. In Cairo. Oh, we have a merchant here.
At your service.
So, let's get him to that cotton. Do we have... Perhaps we could make a merchant in Jerusalem as well. And there is pretty much nothing to do here, so I think we have a turn. And I think that army in southern France needs to get to the bridge so that the defenses can be deployed in the best possible way. Actually, this enemy army looks quite formidable.
Attack! Units, await my orders.
Especially those bombards are a bit worrisome. Let's try to keep our own general out of harm's way. And was it so that I actually didn't deploy the stakes then? That's even worse. And I guess we should start hitting those noble knights. So that... Oh, that hurt. Because we don't have those stakes. And those are actually quite accurate, those enemy bombards. At the moment. And is the Scots Guard actually trying to hit our general? Well. I guess we will try to cause these guys to rout. Or rather at least withdraw. Which won't be happening. At least initially.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the
And let's see if we could hit those noble knights to the back. Those guys are still steady. Perhaps we should pull back. At least a bit. And now let's try to turn around and take down those noble
enemy
knights.
general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
Oh. Those are coming a bit too close.
The battle is very much in our favor.
And let's try to wipe out the whole enemy army, so that we don't need to face it anymore when we are moving against the city there. So a couple of noble knights got away, we suffered some casualties, but I think the enemy army will be annihilated.
Our foe is utter.
And of course now they are going to be rather hard pressed to bring enough troops to the area. Of course it seems we have a Holy Roman Empire army to deal with near Frankfurt, and of course the defenses there could be quite a bit stronger. So we might have a setback there. And let's see what the Mongols are up to. Apparently some troop transfers. Luckily for us, it seems they are finally being stretched quite thinly. So... and it seems the plague should be passing rather soon. And those guys at Cairo are still unhappy. Jerusalem, in there the situation is improving a bit. In Caesarea we could have a priest and start retraining the first unit. And we could make cannon towers there, but I think the ballista towers will be quite enough. And Staufen, seems we can start to rather fully upgrade, or rather replenish the troops and train new ones. And perhaps this army is strong enough to begin the siege of Dijon. I don't think we will build those any siege equipment there because, well,
someone removed, sir.
Because it will make the defense there a bit harder if we need to move out. And since we are not having plague in Reims anymore, we can safely transport or transfer a couple of more units to reinforce the army.
Orders. Combining forces, sire.
And of course,
My lord. Sire.
we need to send quite a few of these longbow
Sire.
units to be retrained.
We can go no further today, sire.
And in Paris, we can raise taxes at least a bit. In Metz, we can start
Sire.
retraining at the very least some of the units, and we can even reinforce the
As you
besieging army there.
joining forces, my lord.
In Cayenne, well, let's leave some room for those retrainings. But elsewhere we most definitely need to
Sire.
retrain the units we can. And I think some other units
Yes, sire. My lord.
will be sent to the front.
By your command, sire. My lord. Command me, sire.
Be so nice to have some mercenaries, but
Yes, sire.
not
Moving
going
to
to be.
crush the enemy. They're dead
But only
once we breach
2
the
units
wall,
defending
sire.
Marseille, so
Patiently
that at
awaiting
the very
to
least is
breach.
good
Yes,
news,
sire.
and we are starting to
We'll
get
make camp
reinforcements
here,
rather soon.
No more words.
And
Draw
I
your
think
sword.
this army will be
We will
quite
see
easily
you
able to
at
hold
none.
the Spanish faction here back. And in Caesarea, we are already retraining. In Adana, finally, the plague has passed.
Orders. Sire.
So let's begin to retrain
Yes.
all the possible units we can. In Aleppo, we can even recruit a new unit. In Damascus, I guess this is what we are going to have. In Acre, let's train some new army members. And I think we can start to send these guys to be retrained from Alexandria. And in Cairo, we need to have at least monthly races.
Hail, my king. With honor, sire. Hail, my king.
And
Yes,
let's
my
keep this guy outside at least for one more turn, to make sure that he does not bring the plague to Jerusalem. And I guess we are training troops here in Bern. Not quite yet. So, we have a turn, except for, I think we have some assassins hanging around
Who do you want
that
dead?
could be put to
You have
good
a
use.
Command, my king.
Well. Oh, and some reinforcements from England. And apparently the population in Paris wasn't quite as happy as I thought. I think in this campaign particularly, it can be seen how the late game is much slower paced
Show no
than the
mercy. Kill them all.
early game. I think for a video that lasts for 1 hour, I can have perhaps 2 or 3 turns. And in the early game, that might be perhaps, let's say, 20 turns. Well, perhaps not quite as much, but let's say at least over 10. So the difference is quite big in those terms. And since the enemy most likely is going to blast our walls, I don't know if we have ballista towers here. I doubt that. So I think it's best to put these stakes quite abundantly along the way to the city. So we can inflict some casualties. I think the enemy was commanded by a general, so most definitely the stakes won't go to waste. Oh, there is this side street. Difficult to deploy the stakes here. Perhaps it's too narrow. Well, let's put one set here. Then at least two sets here. And then we need to cover our flanks as well. And then let's get our troops to the city center. And I think we will utilize loose formation, because the enemy seem to have quite a lot of missile units of their own. So it's going to take some time to get rid of all of them. And of course they are going to demolish our walls here. So there are trebuchets, two of them, two catapults and two... Those are not rocket launchers, but I don't actually remember the unit name. Well, perhaps we will find out soon enough. Revolts, I guess. They were revolts.
The walls have fallen. Steel and valiant hearts must be our walls now.
And there is at least one cavalry unit, perhaps two. So let's hope we can inflict some casualties with the stakes there.
The walls are no longer ours. The enemy have taken... Our enemy's ladders have reached our walls. It's time for butcher's work.
No casualties coming just yet from the stakes. And we still need to take care of that enemy artillery. So we are having quite a lot of mercenaries around here. Fortunately, it seems they are clumping up, at least a bit, so we should have rather good time hitting them. And perhaps we need to conserve ammunition rather soon. So let's see if we could drive those off. And let's just make sure that we don't accidentally kill our general and his bodyguard on those stakes. So, we have won the first skirmish. I guess the second one will start rather soon. Perhaps not then. So, which of these we can lose? Perhaps this one. So let's send him to harry the enemy a bit. Okay, they are not reacting. So we can inflict some casualties there. Fair enough. Okay, incoming. Or then not. And some more crossbowmen incoming. And now the enemy cavalry getting itself impaled. Fair enough. And dismounted feudal knights. Actually, I think we will wait a bit. Because the arrows fired... Okay. Apparently we are not waiting a bit. Well, in any case, arrows fired directly at the enemy will do more damage than those fired with the upper arc. And let's try to inflict some more casualties so that they are not coming back. And then we have some crossbowmen there doing their job rather too well. Let's hit these guys a bit closer by. One volley to the dismounted feudal knights should work wonders. And then we can focus on the missile units once again. And we have some enemies approaching from the side, trying to flank us. Absolutely no idea what they are. Perhaps we can go to check with our general. In the best case scenario, they are the siege weapon crews. And I think we need to conserve some ammunition. Okay, town militia, quite good scenario as well, to be honest. And I think we can send out our general to take care of the enemy siege weaponry. Most of the enemy army is or should be fleeing. Perhaps not actually all, since we have already killed only some 60% of them. So they are having at least one full unit there, it seems. And the siege weapons are starting to fire rather soon. I think the rebolts are the most dangerous ones, and the catapults. So let's hit them first.
Our foolish general has thrown his life away.
Okay.
Perhaps our chances of victory with it.
So, clearly the most dangerous one. So 1 unit of mercenary spearmen, 1 unit of town militia, and 1 unit of Pavis crossbowmen. Well, hopefully not too many of them. It's sad that our general perished.
The battle seems to be swinging in our... The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men. Behold how our cowardly foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
Kind of sad that we lost our general. And... okay, whoops. Well, he would have gone down there latest. So let's try to make sure that this enemy army won't be coming back. Or not even scraps of it. Okay, and that's quite enough.
The enemy are utterly vanquished.
Okay, so much for that army. Of course, our defenses are spread quite thinly there. This army should be quite a bit easier to deal with. Unfortunately, I don't know if I have decent enough towers, but I think those stakes at the very least should be quite useful.
The tide of battle seems to have turned against us. We must act and halt this turn of events.
So, stakes here should do quite well. And let's deploy another set here. Third one here. And I think most of the enemy cavalry should go down before reaching this far. And of course, these stakes mean that most of our or rather our general needs to stake back in here. So I think we can see what kind of defenses we have. Are they ballista towers, cannon towers? Because that would affect our defense. So ballista towers, nice. So basically it means that we will man the walls. course we need to be ready to leave the walls when the situation so requires, but I think we are able to inflict quite heavy damage to the enemy before they can practically reach any of our inner defenses. So they are having a second battering ram incoming.
Longbows, wait your command. With great speed.
Okay, so much for that ram. So now they have still the siege tower and ladders. And they are taking a nice amount of casualties already. Perhaps it would be time to get these guys.
The enemy's siege. Our enemy's ladders
Here.
have reached our walls. It's time for butcher's work.
And I think once you get the ballista towers, those defensive structures are really starting to count in the battles. So perhaps we can get these guys to the walls as well. Perhaps we could stop the enemy altogether before they get to the through the second wall. Oh. And they are not even bothering to take the gates, apparently.
The
Now
walls are no
finally.
longer ours.
So let's
The
hope
enemy
the
have
cavalry
taken-
comes in and gets slaughtered. Can we actually harm them from here? Doesn't seem to be the case. Some arrows are flying and some men are falling, so perhaps this is not complete waste of time.
Attack! Wait your command.
I guess you guys can cease fire and wait a bit longer. And what now? Perhaps the enemies need a bit of encouragement. This is kind of annoying thing when playing against the AIB. They are not, or it's not too good to in getting things done. Okay, finally. Welcome. Oh, apparently they are waiting for the open gates. Then again, the AI of my troops isn't too bright either. time to get in. And let's hope the gates are not left open. Oh, they are left open. That's sad.
Only intervention by the Almighty, or a military genius, can bring us victory from this.
Let's try not to lose these guys altogether.
Only half the enemy force remains. Pray something changes in the course of battle, for defeat seems almost certain.
Oh,
Only intervention by the Almighty, or a military genius, can bring us victory from this. Only intervention by the Almighty, or a military genius, can bring us victory from this.
so what do we need to fight? Still. There is the enemy general and some cavalry. Perhaps we should bring the Longbowmen still having ammo to the fray. I guess there is a unit of chivalric knights having ladders here. Yeah. And this is proving to be rather... Okay, so we are starting to fire. Excellent. Perhaps the enemy general will get away,
Seems to be swinging in our favor.
but
From
I
such
think we can hunt
tidings
him
of
down
victory
later.
emerge.
So we lost about 1/6 of our men, because some of them will recover. And the enemy did lose majority of its army, so I think there shouldn't be any imminent Spanish threat to us, at least anytime soon. That should be it rather soon. ladders, but the men. Okay.
The enemy are utterly vanquished.
Fair enough. Even though the enemy prince or factionaire got away. And let's see what the Mongols are up to this time. So based on the troop movements, they might be... Okay, quite a lot of cavalry. So they might be having other enemies nearby. So let's hope they will clear the Antioch area of their own troops and then pull those troops to other areas. I think we will make a bit of a concave, or perhaps an opposite of a concave here, with stakes. This unit could be a bit better positioned here. And let's hope the enemy cavalry will be rather aggressive. So the enemy does have some siege equipment. That's problematic for us, of course. And then there is some infantry, but the infantry quality is rather poor. And perhaps that's missile cavalry actually. Well, the important thing is not to lose our general, because he's pretty much the only general we have in this area. And these are really missile cavalry units, but they are coming alone, so perhaps we can take quite a chunk of them down before the rest of the enemy army is in missile range. But as soon as we are possible, we need to target those enemy infantry or missile units there. So we can have those 20 missile archers circling around there, but now we need to take care of those Afghan javelin men. Perhaps taking down some of those enemy cavalry units with missiles wouldn't be a bad idea. And they are actually circling around our defenses there. That's too bad. And let's hope at least the general will attack and not walk through the stakes there. Come on. Okay, good. He's down.
enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
And it's pretty much fire at will, of course. That flank needs to be guarded. Good.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
And it seems most of the enemies at least are running, excepting that trebuchet. And we don't actually want to fight against it anymore, so let's wipe it out.
Pursue and run them down.
And then let's take down those javelin men as well, if we can. It will be so many fewer enemies to fight against. Most likely in the next battle. Of course, if we can catch them. Well, perhaps a couple of more casualties. And I guess that's it.
By the grace of God!
Some casualties, but I think the enemy did suffer quite a bit more. Okay, once again the Bob is dead. And the Timurids are incoming. No, we are not going to cease any hostilities. And it seems we are beginning to have a monopoly within the Catholic Church.
I am a Senate.
And once again, we did lose a priest near Cairo. And perhaps a bit better roads there will be quite beneficial. Are those guys heretics, or what's their problem with the cardinals?
Hail, my king!
So let's retrain. Oh, and we can actually have a rather full army to guard the bridge here. And do I know from somewhere if this guy has a plague? Well, at least if Jerusalem got a plague now, then this guy would have had plague, but fortunately that's not the case.
No further today, sire. Orders, as you wish.
Hail, my king! Yes, my liege. Making camp here, noble sire.
Sire. Orders. Yes, sire.
And perhaps we need to send fresh troops to Alexandria so that we can retrain those others.
Orders. Yes, sire. sire. We'll make camp here, sire.
And it seems the plague here has abated as well. That's wonderful news.
Sire.
We can start to
Orders.
retrain the units.
Need someone removed. Name thy target, sire. Today is a
Let's
particularly good day
improve
to
the
die.
public order in Paris a bit.
Sire. By your command.
Laying in.
My king. My lord.
And let's get this unit for
Yes.
retraining.
Sire. Combining forces, sire.
And I guess we need to repair the walls in Frankfurt. And in KN we can start to retrain these units. Let's train new ones in Angers and Rennes. We have some reinforcements incoming.
Orders. By your command. We
And
can go no
perhaps we
further
could
today,
train
sire.
some new troops here as well. And by the way, let's not forget Nicosia. We can send some reinforcements out rather soon. And once those guys gather a bit of a strength, I think we can send them against Spain. Some more troops, and can we actually attack? No, we cannot.
They'll wish they'd never been
Next
born,
turn.
sire.
And here I think we can
Yes,
start
sire.
making the
Moving
siege
to crush
equipment.
the enemy. Patiently awaiting to breach and butcher, sire.
And I guess this is everything for today. So thank you very much for watching.
I salute you.
If you like the content, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to post comments, give advice, ask questions and so on. Have a great rest of the day. QualityOldGames out.